Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. And today I have Mila here. Mila, I am so excited about this conversation today. I feel like finances is something that it is so involved in our everyday lives for all of us. But then so many, and particularly mums, are so involved in the day-to-day finances, and I'm going to say struggles of today's economy, that we forget to think about the future. Or even when we are thinking about the future, many of us think that it's not relatable to us because we don't have that extra money at the end of the month. And after this little bit of time, me talking to you and going through my things and thinking about my finances, it's really opened my eyes to just how much we can do now to help ourselves and our children in our future. So I'm really excited to have you on today. And we are going to just jump straight in. And I'm going to ask you, what is the one thing that you wish that every mum knew?
Okay, so the first thing is I want the moms to know that they don't have to have everything figured out because no one does. When it comes to financial planning, people tend to think, oh, but I am not in the financial space right now. Maybe in 2 years, maybe 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, then my life's going to be perfect. I'm going to have everything figured out. I'm going to know where I'm going, what's going to happen next. But the truth is, I don't think anyone ever gets to that stage. Financial planning isn't perfect. It's not a one size fits all. It is tailored to each person and to each stage in their life. That's the most important part. As soon as you start, even a year after you started, your financial planning journey isn't necessarily going to look the same because there's so many things in life that happens. You might get a promotion or you might get retrenched. Your financial plan needs to reflect that. It needs to change in terms of that. So for me, it's just people need to stop worrying about having everything in order and everything needs to be perfect before they start planning, because that's never going to be the case. And yeah, I just want moms to know that it's okay if you don't know what's going on in your finances, if you don't know what's going on in your budget. This is now the time to start looking at those things and to start figuring it out.
I love that advice. And I think you're so spot on that so many mums, it's almost we turn a blind eye to it because we're like, it's too overwhelming. There's too much information. I'm not ever going to be a millionaire because I'm just struggling through the day to days. And it's almost like financial planning is something that you plan to plan for. Like
Yeah.
one day when I've got that money, then I will start planning more. And as I've already mentioned, I think speaking to you has really opened my eyes to the idea that there is no better time to sit down and financially plan your life or your future or your next step than now, no matter what your financial situation is. So I absolutely love that advice. Mila, the next thing I want to know is for the mums sitting on the call wondering when to come to you, who to come to you, or like who should come to you. When mums or when people come to you for the first time, what is the biggest financial gap or the issue that they're struggling with at the time that brings them to you?
So most of the time, I don't think they realize it before they come to me. I think they come and they sit down and they don't really know what's going on. And what I then realize, the biggest financial gap is that they don't have a financial safety net in place.
Mm.
And by that, is there sufficient provisions for any unexpected life event? I think it's safe to say in today's economy that most families rely on two incomes to support their
Mm.
household. So let's, for instance, say, what if one parent is unable to earn an income anymore? How does that change their financial situation? Can
Mm.
each parent confidently say, oh, I have enough money saved, I have enough money invested to continue the current lifestyle we are living throughout our children's educational time, throughout our lives? That's never the case. It
Mm.
can't be. I don't think anyone is ever so secure in their finances that they can continue that way. And that's exactly where financial planning comes in. It's to give you that safety net to plan not just for the expected, which is your long-term goals, your education savings, but also to plan for the unexpected. Because no one wants to talk about things that can happen in life, but unfortunately, you need to. You need to realize that it can be a reality. You can get ill, you can become disabled, and then what? Can you confidently say my bank account is big enough to carry my family for the next few years? I
No.
don't think so. And that's the biggest gap. It's that people don't realize these financial safety nets need to be in place.
Financial safety net. That's what I'm writing down there because that's so true. And I think that things do happen. Life does happen. And it's how do we plan for that? So I want to chat a little bit about education today. And that is, I think, one of these things that, again, we know it's coming. We know our children want to get an education in this world, but we almost feel stuck in the today and the to-dos. And we're like, one day I will have enough money to, or I'll plan for it then. When should we start planning for our children's education? Why is it important to think about it now? Most of our viewers and most of our audience still has very young children. So is it something that we can put on the back foot for now and think about later? Talk us through that journey in terms of education and planning for our education.
So the first thing that I've realized is people tend to think that investing is just for the wealthy. They need to have 2 or 3 million rand that they can invest as a lump sum before it's actually going to mean anything. That is a lie. That's not true. That is the worst way to look at it. Because ideally, you need to start saving for your child's education from the day they are born. Because at the end of the day, this is going to take such a financial load off of you when it comes to that time. So, as I said in my first video that's been posted, I created the scenario with what you can even do with 500 Rand a month. I want people to see it in the sense that they don't have to wait until they have 5 or 6 or 10,000 Rand a month that they can put away. You don't have to. Investing doesn't have to be this huge amount of money every single time. The smallest contributions can grow so significantly over time that it's worth starting. By saying that, I also don't want to discourage moms that maybe already have children that are a bit older or are in school or even high school. At the end of the day, it's just creating a lump sum of money for you so that everything is not this one-shot big financial load.
I think that is something like you feel like you mentioned 500 Rand. That is something that you're like, what's the point in putting that away? What's going to happen to that? And maybe you can run us through that situation. What does happen? So if a mum, say I come to you now, I am ready to invest in my child's financial future and their education future, and I come to you, do we just put the money in there? What happens? Do we have to decide where the money's going later? Explain exactly how it works if I'm on a consultation call with you and I've got a little bit of extra money, not too much at the end of every month. And where do I invest? What shall I do? Talk me through that journey.
Okay, so the most important thing for me as a financial advisor is to determine what your risk appetite is when it comes to investing. Different investments have different kind of risks. For example, if you are really afraid of the markets, you are afraid of volatility, you feel that if you see that your money is even down with 1 Rand, you are going to freak out, you're going to pull out all of your money. Then you are going to be more of a conservative investor. But if you tell me you are happy to ride the waves, this is a long-term investment, you do know that on a day-to-day basis, the markets might be up or down, but in long term, your money is going to grow, then we look at a more aggressive approach. I'm not going to go too deep into the terminology of this because not everyone is interested, not everyone really understands it, but we first determine what is your risk appetite. From that, I will put an investment strategy into place for you. I will walk you through the bonds or the funds that I've chosen for you, whether it's higher equity or higher bonds. I will walk you through it. I will discuss it with you, and your money is then placed into a fund. You will also be able to see the past returns of that fund just to give you an idea of what you can expect. It's never guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen with the markets. Here, with everything going on in Iran, it's having its effect on the market. But I always say, and it's so true, the market will recover. The market will always build itself up again. It's never a complete loss. You're not going to lose all of your money. And I think that is such an important thing for people to remember when it comes to investing, because so many people are unsure, they are scared, they don't know what to do. And that's why I say you don't have to invest your money. You don't have to go sit and choose your stocks and decide, okay, what must I invest in? I will do that for you. You come to me, you tell me what you want, and I will create an investment strategy according to your risk appetite and your budget and your long-term goals.
So I love that. And investing, and you and I have spoken a bit, and that's how we got into contact. But I have been looking at investing for so long, and it is so overwhelming. And I think that is the thing that attracted me to you from the beginning, is that when I spoke to you, you explained things to me like I was a child. And I love that, because otherwise, and we spoke about this, when you do speak to somebody in finance and in that world, sometimes the words that they use are just like so unrelatable. It becomes overwhelming. I don't know what I have to do or where I have to do it. So I love the idea for mums to just take less off their plate, find somebody that knows it and knows it really well. And then it's a job. And you were chatting, you were saying that some people, like, they watch their rands go up and down. I think for most mums, to be honest, like, we're so busy that just the idea of having somebody else deal with that and not have to watch that money go up and down is just a load off our shoulders. Knowing it's safe, knowing that somebody's looking after it. Mila, tell me, what are the most common mistakes that people are making, or the most common misconceptions that people are making when it does come to investing their money?
So to go back to what I said earlier, the biggest mistake is thinking that you need a lot of money to invest. That's not true. There are so many different options for different people. Yes, if you do have a large lump sum that you would like to invest, we can cater for that. But if you don't have that and you only have small monthly amounts, we can cater for that as well. As I said, when it comes to financial planning, it's not a one size fits all. It's tailored to your situation, what you can afford, what you want to do with your money. At the end of the day, this is all about you as the client. It's not about us. It's about making your future look better and to protect your future. And they don't have to worry that they need to have 10,000 Rand a month to put away for it to have a significant value. That's never the case. As I said previously, those small amounts can grow so significantly over time that in 15 years, you're going to look back and you're going to say, I'm so glad I started. Because in 15 years, it might just be too late.
And what would you say to the mums? Because as you're talking, I'm like, oh, it makes so much sense. But I feel like there are a lot of parents in general, because there are just so many expenses these days. The economy, things are so expensive. And we had just had guests, friends coming from Australia, who, everybody knows Australia is really expensive. They were absolutely shocked at the prices of things in South Africa. Food in South Africa now is equal to food in Australia, yet we're still earning much, much less to people in the rest of the country. So I think finances and just getting by is a huge thing for so many parents. And I think what I'd love to touch on there is, what would you say to somebody who is just feeling so behind on life, on investments, on life policies, on where do they start or how do they start?
The first step is to take a step back and look at the bigger financial picture. You were now talking about how expensive everything is. And I've heard so many people say, yo, but I don't have 1,000 rand to invest every single month. I can't have more expenses. The problem with that mindset is investing isn't an expense, and you shouldn't be looking at it that way. So I always tell people, if you feel you can't save 1,000 rand now, how are you going to pay for your child's education going forward?
Mm.
Do you 100% know that you are going to be in the financial situation or the financial position by that time to afford it?
Yeah.
We can't guarantee that. No one ever can. You need to start taking your income and you need to decide, okay, I am going to invest 500 Rand or 600 Rand, and you need to scrap that from your income. You need to budget, you need to try and make your expenses less if you can, because investing isn't an expense. Investing it's for your child's future. It's money that's going to grow. I always say in layman's terms, think about it in the way that you are putting money into something where you are getting money for free. Why would you not want to do that? That's returns, that's compound growth. At the end of the day, if we go back to that video I made stating the 62,000 difference between a savings account and a mutual fund, where else are you going to get 62,000 Rand for free?
Mm.
No way.
No.
So the most important thing is just take a step back and look at the bigger picture and start. You
Mm.
don't have to have everything figured out in the beginning. You just need to start somewhere. If you don't, I've spoken to so many clients where they say the entire financial planning situation is so overwhelming to them because you get your risk cover, you get investments, you get retirement, and it's just too much. And then I say to them, okay, but let's break it down. You don't have to figure out all three all at once.
Yeah.
What to you is the most important? If you say that is investing for your child's future, then let's start there.
Mm.
You don't have to have the whole plan figured out in one session in 1 year and then Bob's your uncle, you go with it. No. If you need to see someone, or if my client needs to see me every 3 months to update, to get into the financial planning, let's do that. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. People tend to overcomplicate this whole thing because they don't know where to start. And you know what? You don't need to. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here to guide you through the journey, to show you what can be achieved, what we need to look at, what is important. And if it's not something that you want to engage in right now, then that's fine.
So take a step back. Like, how powerful is that? And I think that is for everybody, whether where you are like cutting it fine, bills by bills every month, or whether you have a lump sum of money sitting in your bank account, because we haven't really chatted too much about those people. There are mums, there are parents who do have that money sitting in their bank accounts, like wondering maybe their car breaks down, maybe this, maybe like they need that lump sum. Where what I'm understanding from you is if we take that money and invest it somewhere, we can wait for it to grow. And you said something that I've written down here: wealth is created through investments. The idea that all these wealthy people are investing. So why aren't we? Either whether it is small amounts of money, whether you do have that lump sum in your account. And then Mila, something that I wanted to ask on that is how easy is it then to take money out of an investment? And would you suggest that, say something happens, there's a medical bill that really needs to be paid, a car breaks down and you have to buy a new car, because I think that's another misconception, is that you put money in investments and it's trapped there for 5 or 10 years. And parents are really worried that, yeah, the things that happen and they need that money. So how easy is it to move money around? Would you suggest that? What are your kind of ideas on that?
As I said, there are so many different ways to invest. Yes, you do get investments like an endowment that is closed off for 5 years where you continue contributing, but you can't withdraw out of it. But you also get unit trusts that are quick access. The time that it takes for the money to leave the unit trust and get to you is round about the time that it takes for an EFT from one bank account to another. So you can
Okay.
have it within a day or 2 days. With my clients, I always use the term emergency fund because
Mhm.
that's something so important. And to touch on what you said, everyone always feels that they need to have X amount of money in their savings account for medical bills when your car breaks down. Yes, 100%, I agree with that. But sometimes it also happens where that savings account is untouched for 3 years
Mm.
because nothing happens. It's not an everyday in and out. So why not take that lump sum and invest it? And it's going to continue to grow. And as you need the money, you withdraw from it.
Mm.
It's not complicated. It's not a fixed thing where you can only take out this much or this much. Not at all. When you go into a simple unit trust, it's easy access. If you need the money, you can get the money.
So,
But you also leave a certain amount of money in the fund that also continues to grow.
Mila, I feel like everything that we've chatted today about is like the tip of the iceberg when it comes to finances and investments. And I really hope that the ladies watching today have just got a feel for, firstly, that it's not overwhelming, it's not too complex, it can be simple. Just maybe a little bit more of an open mind about investing, about thinking about your finances before you hit that point that is like there's no escape route. So I want to say a huge thank you for just opening the conversation today. And I know that you have volunteered and you are willing to be an expert on the Parent Hub for the next few months so that mums can ask questions. We're going to be learning more from you, which is just so exciting. Also, something that you have offered is a free consultation to all of the Parent Hub mums, which I'm so grateful for because I know that this is going to put so many mums in the right direction when it comes to their investments and savings. So before we say goodbye, can you just let mums know how they can contact you, where they can get more information, and yeah, the next steps forward for them?
So I actually want to go a bit deeper into that free consultation for the moms, just to give them an idea of what they can expect. So what I will be doing in that first meeting is for me to do holistic financial planning for each individual. I need to get some information from them. So just to touch on again where everyone feels that financial planning is so complicated and they don't know where to start. The only thing you need to do is to be able to answer a few questions. I will be doing all of the work. So we will be looking at what do you currently have in place? What are your assets? What are your liabilities, your income, your expenses? So that we can see, is there any room in the budget? Is there anything we can move around to maybe create an investment strategy that fits into your finances on a monthly basis? So in that first meeting, it's really just data capturing from my side. I will be chatting to the moms, asking about their current situations, asking about their long-term goals, what exactly they want to get from this meeting. And then I will do all of the work in the background, just to give them some peace of mind that they don't have to come sit there and know everything and have everything figured out and know how much money they want. It doesn't work like that. So I will do the financial needs analysis for all of them. And from there, we can assess what is the best step forward. So if they would like to have this free consultation, they can click on a link that we will provide to them that takes them to my landing page. And on there, they just need to put in their details, name, surname, email address, and I will give them a call to set up the meeting.
Amazing. And I feel like just the conversations around like just opening up these conversations for me, since being in contact with you, like I've said, it opens your mind to new things. So I'm hoping that even just this conversation, hop on a call with Mila, take that free consultation, use it, and it is going to open your mind to the different ways that you can be investing, the different ideas around money, the different budgeting things. Yeah, so that's just such a gift for our mums. So thank you. And I think something that's really stuck with me is this idea of the importance of just starting. Just do it. So there's your call to action and your sign to all the mums to hop on that call. I am going to put the link below or above, wherever it sits, and you can hop on that call with Mila. That's amazing. Mila, thank you so much for joining us today. And
Thank you so much,
to
Christy.
I'm excited to chat to you more and to hear more and to think more and to just, yeah, open up these conversations. So big thank you to you. Thanks to our mums for listening. And yeah, that's it from me.
Thank you so much, Christy, for this opportunity. And yeah, I hope to speak to some of the moms soon.
Fantastic. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and we will chat soon. Goodbye.